We're doing dog yoga today, as you can see. Hopefully you can see from front to back of the mat. And we're gonna be working starting in mountain pose. So let's tilt our tailbone back, shoulders back, palms forward, lifting our chin a little bit, and we're breathing. So as we're inhaling, we wanna expand the ribs and belly, and exhaling, we contract. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's keep breathing. On our next inhale, let's sweep our arms up, and then exhaling out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Let's make sure that we are keeping soft knees. We're keeping that bend in our spine, that our shoulders are back and down, even when we're breathing. Let's inhale, and on our next breath up, we're gonna lower to an easy chair, and then scoop those arms out. Exhaling, we lower down, inhaling up. Working on balance, let's lift our 10 toes up through the next few chairs. And let's make sure as we're lowering to chair, we're pulling our belly tight and then expanding that breath. Let's relax those toes. And then on our next inhale, we're gonna bring our hands together and exhale. On that inhale, we're taking a tiny back bend. We're inhaling up, making sure to expand the ribs and belly. Exhaling down, we contract the ribs and belly. Deep breaths in and slow exhales out. Let's take one more chair pose. Inhaling up, and now we slowly swan dive. Fingers sweep the mat. We inhale back up. We exhale slow. When we swan dive, our belly is tight and we're leading with the chest. We lead with the shoulders up. Exhales down. We're hinging from the hips. We're pretending that we are a high diver. We're inhaling up, and then we're swan diving to forward fold. We're gonna hang out here for a moment. We're gonna lift the fingertips, try to tilt the tailbone up and straighten the legs, and we exhale, release. Our head is heavy, our shoulders are heavy. You have your own mat. No, we don't want love right now. Let's inhale to supported monkey. Breathing. Let's exhale, release back to forward fold. Let's wrap our arms around the back of our legs. We're still hanging heavy through the head and shoulders. Let's bring our fingertips back to the floor in front of our toes. We're gonna try to straighten the legs a tiny bit more, and then we're gonna walk our hands to the right, letting our head still hang heavy. And then we walk our hands all the way to the left. Let's bring our hands back to the center. Let's slide up to supported monkey. We want our shoulders sliding down our backs. We want our belly pulled in tight. We're breathing. We want our head above our heart. And then we exhale back to forward fold. We're going to bend our knees in and bring our hands to the floor, stepping back to our first downward dog. In downward dog, we want our thumbs almost touching. We want our tailbone tilted up. And we want a slight bend in our knees. Now let's start pedaling through the heels. Our breath should still be deep and steady. Let's remember in downward dog that we're pushing every fingertip, every knuckle down into the mat so we're not taking so much pressure in our wrists. Let's lift up to tippy toes. Let's sink our chest towards the knees. And then slowly let the heels release towards the floor. We're going to take a couple deep breaths here in downward dog. Let's slowly shift forward to plank. We want to bring our chin forward past the fingertips. Our hips are lifted. We're on the tippy toes. Then we're going to bring the knees gently to the floor, pressing back to child's pose. We're going to stack our fists underneath our forehead. We're going to breathe deep and steady here. On our next breath, let's move forward to hands and knees. We want our wrists right under the shoulders, our knees are under the hips. We want to inhale the chest up, the tailbone up, and then we exhale, round into our cat pose. Inhaling and exhaling. We're moving back and forth as we pull into cat pose, pulling the belly tight. And then we inhale, we're pulling the chest and tailbone up. Breathing back and forth. Let's hold our cow pose, really stretching through the chest and tailbone. And then on our exhale, starting at the tailbone, we round and press our cat high. And then we settle back into child's pose, stacking those fists back underneath our forehead. Let's stretch our hands forward. Looking front, we want our thumbs almost touching. We have our yogi hands or our starfish hands. We shift forward, tuck under, downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here. Every exhale sinks us a little bit lower into the pose. We're pressing our knuckles and our palms down. Pads of our fingertips pressed down. And while we're in downward dog, let's lift all 10 toes and try to create space between each toe as we step them back down to the mat. On our inhale, we go forward, We're gonna bring our knees to the floor, keep the toes tucked under. We're gonna bring the elbows straight back to the rib cage and take a half crocodile. Inhale, we roll to our baby cobra, squeeze those elbows in, and then we exhale back to child's pose. Coming back into downward facing dog. Soft bend in the knees every time we're in downward dog. Let's inhale forward to plank. Let's bring the chin and face past the fingertips. The knees come back to the floor. We exhale, lower down to half crocodile. Slowly we roll to baby cobra, squeeze those elbows in. Flip the toes back, child's pose. In child's pose, we're gonna just shift the hips side to side. Coming back to the center, we're coming into our next downward facing dog. We're gonna put a soft bend in the knees and take tiny little steps forward to the back of our wrists. We're gonna slide up to our supported monkey. We're gonna try for a straight back, shoulders sliding back, tailbone lifted, breathing. Let's release the forward fold. And then tightening the belly, we take that reverse swan dive all the way up. We take chair pose. Back bending, and then we swan dive. Let's come into supported monkey, breathing. We're getting ready to move through our full sun salutations. Let's exhale, release. Let's step back with the right foot to downward dog. Soft knees here. Let's sink our downward dog. Breathing, tailbone up. Let's inhale forward to full plank. Let's squeeze the elbows into the ribs as we lower to full croc. Upward dog, knees off the floor. We're pulling the shoulders back, chest up. Squeeze the glutes. Downward dog. Breathing. Let's use downward dog to catch our breath. Let's take the right foot up into the air. Let's bend the knee and open the hip. Let's straighten the leg. And let's swing that foot all the way through, coming into high lunge. We're reaching tall, pulling the shoulders down. We're breathing here. Let's lift the back knee up. We're tall. Let's shift a little bit farther forward. Our hands are going to come down. We're going to step forward to fold. Inhaling to monkey. We exhale, release. Let's inhale all the way up to the top. Let's take our chair pose. Coming in to our back bend. Let's swan dive. Let's step the left foot all the way back to downward dog. Soft knees, we sink in downward dog. We're taking a deep breath here. Let's inhale forward to plank. Let's squeeze those elbows in as we lower to crocodile. Inhaling, upward dog. Chest up, shoulders back and down. Squeezing the glutes, knees off the floor. Downward dog. Breathing, catching our breath. Our heart rate should be up right now. Let's take the left leg up into the air. Let's bend the knee, open the hip. We're breathing. So remember, we're pressing the whole pad of our hand down into the mat. Let's straighten that leg. Let's swing it through. We're going to come into high lunge. We want to lift the back leg, shift forward. The back heel is up, so the arches of our feet are burning, or should be. We should be sweating a little bit. If we're not, just let me know. I'll make it worse next time. Let's bring our hands down, stepping forward. Let's inhale to monkey. We're breathing, shoulders slide back here. Our belly is tight to support this pose. Let's exhale to our fold. Let's inhale back up to that supported monkey. We release down, we inhale all the way up. We're taking that chair pose. We're inhaling to back bend. We're swan diving. We're gonna step the left foot back all the way to that lunge leg. And we're gonna inhale up. We're gonna shift that knee forward. We're gonna lift the back knee. We're gonna reach our hands up with the shoulders slide down. Now lifting the 5 toes up in the front because I know you're clutching the mat. We're breathing. Let's take the back foot, slide it down, and we're in warrior 2. Shifting this knee forward, we want to build a lot of heat in this leg. Shoulders are down, arms stretching out. We're looking out over that right hand. Our breath is deep. We should feel our ribs and lungs expanding out and in. We're gonna hang out here. We're gonna build some more heat. The shoulders should start to feel some fire as well. How are you guys doing? Don't touch your phones. Don't answer my question. Stay in the pose. Let's take this elbow and we're gonna gently bring it down to this knee, palm up. We're gonna reach towards the sky here. So this elbow should be really light on this leg. If we're feeling good here, we can take our gaze up towards that thumb, which should be right over our eyeball. This arm up here, we're gonna take it behind us. Breathing, we're gonna cross it behind us on the waistline. Now we're gonna breathe, tighten the belly, and bring this arm down beside us as we scoop up to reverse warrior. That front knee stays forward. It should still be catching fire. We're gonna release back into warrior 2, and then we're gonna straighten the front leg. We wanna straighten this leg, but not lock it. So we're gonna shift our body weight forward, reaching towards the high shin, and then it's up to us how low we take this pose. We can slide down towards our ankle if we want. We're gonna pull that shoulder back, and we're reaching tall. We're still breathing here. Let's check in with all 10 toes, just wiggle them around a little bit. The next pose option, we are gonna get to make some choices. What's best for us? So we're gonna slowly come back up, shifting the knee forward, warrior 2. So our first option is elbow to the knee and reaching up and over. We wanna turn the pinky side down. We want our core tight. The front knee is shifted forward to help support us. Now we can stay up here and stretch, or if we like a deeper pose, we can take the palms down to the floor or even the knuckles, and we're holding this deeper stretch. We want our breath deep, inhales and exhales. Let's take this left arm, we're reaching tall. Then we slowly come back into warrior 2. And then we're gonna straighten this leg and turn the foot forward, bringing both hands to our waist. For us ladies, it's that bottom rib. We're inhaling up, and then we hinge from the hips, hands to the floor for straddle. Inhaling to fingertips, we exhale to palms. Inhale to fingertips. Exhale. So just keep moving up and down here a little bit, checking in that we're not locking our knees. Let's inhale to fingertips one last time, and then we're going to exhale, let our entire body sink down. Our head is heavy, our shoulders are heavy, the tailbone is tilted up, but we're not locking any joints. Let's take a deep breath, and as we do, let's come up and bring our hands to the shins, making sure that we're not locking the knees. Starting at the tailbone, let's round all the way up. We're breathing. Let's inhale up. Let's start to move that front foot forward. The back heel comes up. We're going to step down and right into plank. We can put our knees on the floor if we need here. Taking a crocodile. Upward dog. Chest up, shoulder back. Knees are off the floor. And now we're going to bring our knees down and come in to child's pose. Just taking a moment to breathe because we still got that whole other side to go. We can keep our fists stacked underneath our head, or we can extend our hands out for a full child's pose. If you have a giant dog under you, fists under your forehead is probably best. Let's make sure our breath is deep and expanding the lungs. Let's stretch those arms forward, and we're coming into our next downward dog. Soft knees, sinking the chest, tilting the tailbone up. We want our ears right between the biceps. We're going to come on to tippy toes, bend the knees a little bit deeper, and then we're going to take tiny steps forward. Coming into fold at the front of our mat. Let's inhale, come into supported monkey. Shoulders slide back. We have a flat back. We're getting as straight of a leg as we can. Let's exhale, release. Slowly we inhale all the way up to the top. We're gonna bring the arms out and take a moment in mountain pose. Shoulders roll back and down. Tailbone still tilted. We're breathing. Inhales that expand the lungs and belly, and exhales that contract. We want our breath to be just like ab work. So while we're standing here breathing and catching our breath, I'm going to turn around so we can do the other side. Let's bring our hands to our belly and make this diamond shape over top of the belly button. And we're going to inhale, and as we inhale and expand the ribs, the fingers will separate. Exhaling, we contract, pull the abs in, push the air out, and our fingers come back together. We're inhaling. Deep breath in, shoulders are back and down. Exhaling, pull it in deep. Inhaling, let's take one more expanding breath here. Fingers will separate. Exhaling, we contract back in. We're standing back in mountain pose. Let's make sure that we do not lock our knees. Let's sweep our arms up on that next inhale. Let's come into a chair pose. Inhaling to back bend. Then we dive down, forward fold. We inhale to supported monkey. And if you'd like right here, belly tight, we can release the arms, for a full monkey pose. Super tight belly, straighter legs, and the shoulders are loose. Let's bring our hands to our shins. Let's take one inhale, and then exhale, release. Breathing. We're in forward fold. Let's step that right foot all the way back the mat and come into high lunge. We're starting our power series on this side. Let's lift the back knee. Let's lift the heel so the arch of our foot is working. Let's shift the knee forward. We're breathing. Even though our arms are reaching high, our shoulder blades are coming down. Our breath is still deep. Our heart rate is going to spike here, and that's what we want. Let's take the back heel and move it down and come into warrior two on this side. We're shifting the knee forward, shoulders are down. Our gaze is over the left hand and our breath is in and out. Toes are loose on the mat. Let's pretend both shoulders, both glutes, and the front knee are on the same imaginary wall. We're still breathing. Remember, we're building heat, we're building fire in the leg, in the shoulders. If we feel ourselves tilting forward in warrior two, we want to shift our body back so we are tall. Slowly and gently, we bring this elbow lightly to our leg and we reach up. We want to reach tall here, and we want the thumb to be over our eyes. If our thumb is back here, we just sweep that arm up. Let's remember that this elbow is light here. If we're feeling balanced, if we're feeling okay, we can tilt our gaze up. We're taking several deep breaths here. Let's take this top arm behind us to our waistline. We're kind of wiggling it as far across as we can. The shoulder pulls back. This knee is going to stay here, and we come into reverse warrior. We're breathing. If we're not dizzy, we can look up. If we shift farther back into this pose, the knee goes forward. I sure hope that you're feeling the same shakiness that I am. Let's come back into warrior two. Breathing. Let's straighten the front leg. Our hand comes to the top of the shin. We reach up. We choose how far down we slide into this pose. It's triangle pose. We don't want this knee to lock. If we're feeling all right, we're going to pull the shoulder back and look up for balance. In a moment, we are going to be shifting back to warrior two and working on our deeper right angle. Slowly, we shift the knee forward. We come back into warrior two. Here's where we're going to take those choices. We can stay high right here with the elbow. We can keep our hand here, or we can rotate the pinky down. We're breathing. Now, if we're feeling okay here, and if we want more of a challenge, we can take this left hand to the floor. We're breathing. Knuckles or palms. We're strong here. The front knee is forward. We're reaching up. Breathing. We're slowly shifting up into warrior two. Remember, this knee stays here. Don't shift it. Now we can straighten it. Turning the foot, hands on the waistline. We inhale, tailbone tilts back, and then we hinge on those hips forward to our straddle. We inhale to fingertips. We exhale to palms. We keep that head lifted. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Let's inhale up to fingertips one more time. Let's make sure that we're not locking those knees, and we're gonna exhale to a full straddle split. If we're feeling okay, and if we're not locking those knees, we're gonna bring the elbows to the floor. If we don't like that, we stay on palms. Every exhale takes us a little bit deeper into the pose. If we can't quite get to elbows, maybe we take an elbow in each hand. We're still breathing. It doesn't matter the pose that we're in. Let's bring our hands to our shins. We're gonna lift to our flat back. We're breathing. We are going to pivot our hands towards that left foot and step back right into plank. We're going to exhale to crocodile. Upward dog. Shoulders back, chest up, chin lifted, knees are off the floor. Now gently our knees come down and we press to child's pose, catching our breath. Our knees can be wide in this child's pose. We're breathing. And because I know my friend Sarah should be watching, we're gonna do a dolphin pose. We're gonna bring our thumbs to touch each other. Our fingertips are spread wide. We're gonna lower our elbows right behind the middle finger. Tucking the toes under, we come into dolphin. Our ears are right between the biceps. Soft bend in the knees, tailbone tilted up. We're breathing. Let's lift our 10 toes off the mat. Just wiggle them down and up. Softening the bend in our knees a little bit more, we're gonna exhale. And then using the strength that we have left, we're gonna lift back up to downward dog. Bending the knees softly, we're gonna take steps up to the back of our wrists. Sliding into supported monkey. We're breathing. Let's exhale to forward fold. Again, into supported monkey, making sure our back is flat. Our breath is deep. And then bending the knees, let's inhale all the way up to the top. We're gonna exhale our hands through heart center. And we're gonna roll into mountain pose. We're gonna go into tree. So breathing deep. Shoulders slide back. We're gonna lift your right foot up. The knee bends forward. And then what we're gonna do is swing the knee out and just rest the heel above our ankle. I sure hope you guys are sweating as much as I am. We're gonna inhale those arms up. So this is our first tree option. If we feel steady, if we're not locking our knees, we can lift our foot up to our calf. This knee is opening, the rest of our body is turning forward. The third option for tree is to reach down and pull that foot into our thigh. And we're holding tree. We can stay in this pose. If we keep losing balance, we go to the calf. If we keep losing balance, we go a little bit lower to the ankle. Those 5 toes that are connected to the floor, they're loose. We're breathing. Fingertips reach up, shoulders reach down. Dynamic stretching. We should be smiling. Let's release all of this into our mountain pose. We're breathing. Our inhales expand the lungs, our exhales contract. We're lifting the left heel up. The first move we make is to open the knee and rest that heel above the ankle. This right knee is not allowed to lock. If we're ready for the next step, we move that foot up to the calf. It's not touching our knee. Let's bring our arms all the way up, shoulders down. We're breathing. The toes on the floor are loose. And then if we want the last option, we reach down. We put this foot into our thigh. It's not touching our knee. And we're reaching back up. If we like this option, we can stay here. If we keep falling, we bring it back down, lower and lower until we find balance. We're breathing. And then we release this foot out, and we're standing in mountain pose. We're getting ready to move to the floor, so if we need a sip of water, or if we need socks or blankets, we can grab those while we're moving. Let's inhale all the way up to the top, and let's swan dive down. We're in forward fold. We're breathing. Let's inhale to one more supported monkey. Let's exhale, release. Let's step a foot back into downward dog. Sinking into the pose. We're definitely warmed up enough to get into a good downward dog. Let's inhale forward to plank, and very gently we bring the knees down. And we're getting ready to do our side to side cat-cow. So we're going to inhale first, and then we're going to take the right shoulder and right hip to meet each other. We inhale back to the center. We exhale, left shoulder, left hip. Inhaling, exhaling. So we're just doing some spinal flexion. One more time, we're going to the left. And then we're going to slowly take one hip to the ground and swing those legs forward till we're seated in staff pose. Breathing. Let's roll the shoulders down and back in staff pose. We want straight legs, flexed ankles. Our hands are down beside the hips. We're rolling the shoulders back. Let's inhale. And then exhale, roll the shoulders back a little bit more. Let's inhale one more time, and then on the exhale, we're going to move the hands beside the knees. We're going to inhale the chest up. On the exhale, we're going to walk the fingers forward. So we're headed into forward fold. We go as far as we can. We want to feel stretching in the back of our body, in the back of our legs, the glutes, the low back. We're going to inhale a little bit taller. Exhale, bring it forward. We all have different flexibility levels. We have different flexibility levels during stress. We have different flexibility levels at any given moment. Let's inhale a little bit taller. Maybe on the next exhale, we're reaching past the toes. We're pressing the knees down a little bit. Wherever we're at, we can be holding onto the ankles. We're still at the sides of the legs. We're inhaling tall. We're exhaling. Now we're going to drop the chin to our chest, and we're going to keep breathing. If if we're feeling flexible enough to lace our fingers around the sides of our feet, we can go for that. But every exhale lowers us a little bit deeper into forward fold. Slowly, we're going to inhale all the way back up. We're breathing. We're back in staff pose. Our hands are beside us. We're pressing into the floor, and as we do that, we're rolling the shoulders back. We're breathing. Our next step is to move our legs into butterfly. So we want to pull our feet in until we're making this diamond shape. We're going to bring our hands out to the shins. We're inhaling tall. We want that straight back. And then we're going to hinge forward just a little bit to bring the elbows towards the legs. Let's inhale a little bit taller, and then we're going to exhale a little bit lower. Maybe our arms are past the shins now. We still want to straight back here. We don't want to be rounding our spine. Let's inhale again, and now maybe our hands are touching the floor and our elbows are flaring out some more. We're still in that straight spine. We're still breathing deep. Inhales that go deep into the lungs and belly, and exhales that lower us. Now for several deep breaths, we're going to drop our chin to our chest, and if we can get low enough to drop our forehead to our heels, we can go for it. We want our inhales to be deep. We want our exhales to relax us. Let's slowly inhale back up. We're going to move our legs out to straddle splits. And we want our ankles to be flexed here. We're breathing. Let's sit a little bit taller. We're going to bring a hand to either side of the right leg. So we want to inhale and turn the torso towards the right thigh. We're going to inhale tall, and then we're going to hinge from the hips and walk our hands forward, and we're going to lay down on that leg as far as we can. Maybe we're up here today, and that's fine. Maybe it's the end of the day and we have lots of flexibility, and we're going to drop our forehead to our shin. But we're going to take 5 deep yoga breaths here. So remember, they're slow, steady inhales. Inhaling as deep as we can into our belly. We exhale, lower the chin, lower the forehead, and we keep breathing. Both ankles stay flexed in this position. Let's take 2 more yoga breaths. One more breath. And then we slowly draw ourselves back up. And we're going to turn towards the other leg. So hand on either side of the left leg. We inhale tall, we turn the torso, and we exhale, walk down. Right here, let's take another breath. We inhale tall, we exhale. Wherever we can reach, we hold on to. We drop the belly down, we drop the chin and chest. Both ankles stay flexed, and we're going to stay in this fold for 5 yoga breaths. So let's inhale. And on that exhale, we drop as low as we can. 4 more breaths. Two more breaths. And on that last exhale, let's roll ourselves up. We're gonna bring our knees in towards our chest, and we're gonna rock on back to the floor. When we have our knees into our chest, we're gonna hold on to the pits of our knees and just move side to side, loosening up the back and hips. Let's bring our feet flat to the floor. Our arms are going to go out to a T, palms up, and we're just going to wave the knees side to side. Bring our knees back to the center. We're crossing the right ankle over top. We're just letting that knee relax for a moment. Just a lazy pigeon. We're breathing deep. If our hips and back are tight here, if we're feeling any sharp pains, we stay right here. If we're ready to intensify the stretch a little bit, we reach down for the left thigh and we pull in. Shoulders are relaxed here. Let's point and flex the left foot. Let's make sure that our hips are centered on the floor and we're not leaning to one side. And then if and when we're ready, we can extend that left leg up and we can reach over. If we do not like this, we go back to the holding on to our thigh. We're breathing. Every exhale in this position would pull the leg a little bit deeper. And then if we so choose, we can flex that ankle and reach both hands up for the toes. If we cannot reach both hands up, we come back down here to the calf muscle. We're breathing. Gently, let's release, bringing both feet flat to the floor. We're going to let our arms drop open as we wave side to side. Let's bring that left foot across. Breathing. Just let this lazy pigeon stretch that hip for a moment. We can stay here if this best suits our hips and back, or we can reach both hands around the right leg. We're breathing, and then we can point and flex the right foot. Let's let the shoulders relax down. If we so choose, we can take that right leg up, reaching over for the calf muscle, and we're holding, we're breathing. If we feel any types of sharp, intense pain here, we back off to the level that did not feel like that. After we take 2 or 3 yoga breaths here, if we want to reach both hands for the foot, we can. If both hands don't reach, we come back down to the calf. Let's make sure our hips are centered and we're not falling to one side. And then gently, we're going to release our knees back to our chest. Rock side to side. Let's make sure that we're not crossing ankles here. We're going to reach between the knees for the ankles or the outsides of our feet to let the knees fall open into our supine butterfly. If we can reach our hands around our feet and lace the fingers, we should do that. Letting the shoulders relax down, letting the knees relax open. We're breathing. We're inhaling. We're exhaling. If we're feeling okay to close our eyes, we should do that. Let's keep our hands attached to the ankles or the outsides of our feet, and we're opening the ankles to dead bug. We want the knees to relax out and down, the shoulders relax down, our ankles are flexed, our tailbone is on the floor. If it's comfortable for us, let's keep our eyes closed. We're still breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Let's hug our knees back into our chest. Maybe take a rock once or twice to the side. Now, using those beautiful abs, we pull the knees in tight, our arms go out to the side. We're gonna inhale first, and then on the exhale, we're gonna drop the knees to the right. We're gonna check in with our shoulders and neck here. If we're feeling any pinching, we can come back out of the twist. If we're feeling okay, we're gonna turn to look out over that left hand. We're gonna breathe here. Let's close our eyes. Let's inhale deep. Our belly expands. And then on the exhale, our belly contracts, making the twist a little bit deeper. Let's stay here and breathe. If we'd like to take that top leg and stretch it out and rest that foot into our hand, we may do so. But let's remember that we're not locking joints here. We go back into that deep breath. And now rolling both knees back into the center, our head comes back. We take a rock side to side for a moment. We're going to take our arms out to a T. We're going to exhale the knees to the left. Let's check in with our neck and shoulders. If our shoulders are flat and our neck feels okay, we can turn our head towards that right hand. If we're feeling any pinching, we keep our gaze up. Wherever we're at, if we're comfortable, let's close our eyes. Let's inhale deep, expanding the belly. Let's exhale, pull the belly in tight, making the twist deeper. Let's make sure that we are still breathing here. If we'd like to extend that top leg out into our hand, we may do so. Let's remember that our breath is still deep here. Inhaling, expanding the ribs, expanding the belly. And on the exhale, we're pulling the belly in tight. Let's slowly roll both our knees and our head back to the center, holding on to our legs, rocking side to side. And then slowly we bring our feet back to the floor. We're going to let our arms fall out and open so the palms are up. And we are going to wave the knees side to side. We want to make sure that our hips and low back feel comfortable as we head into our Shavasana. We should feel a little bit tired, a little bit beat up after that yoga class. It's good for us. Let's come back into the center with our knees. Let's walk our shoulders away from our ears and let's extend our legs out to the corners of our mat. Let's let the toes roll open so the hips relax. Let's close our eyes. Let's inhale into our deep lungs and belly. And then as we exhale, our belly pulls in. We press that air out of our lungs. On our next inhale, let's curl our toes, curl our fingers. We're gonna squeeze our glutes and shoulders. We're gonna squeeze our lips, our cheeks, our eyebrows, our ears. Everything is creating extra energy here, extra tension. We're gonna inhale deeper. We're gonna squeeze tighter. And then on our exhale, everything melts and releases. We let our body relax into the mat. We're gonna inhale together as a class. We're gonna exhale out together. Let's take the next few moments to just breathe. Let's remember that we're at home. We have different distractions. Sometimes we have pets, we have kids. We just want to breathe. If they make noise, we're inhaling, we're exhaling. We can let our children join us. Teaching stillness. Teaching our breath. If we need to relax a little bit longer, we can choose to stay on the mat. If we're ready to move, let's wiggle our fingers and toes. Very gently, we're pulling one knee into our chest and then the other. And then we're gonna go ahead and rock to our right side, curled up into a nice tiny ball, using our arm as a pillow if we'd like. Taking a few more deep breaths here. When we're ready, we're rocking up to a seated position that is comfortable for us. Let's bring our hands onto our legs. Let's lift into a taller posture, rolling our shoulders back and down. Let's bring our arms out to the side. Let's close our eyes. Let's inhale, bringing our arms up. We're breathing together. We're exhaling out. Let's take a slower breath. We're inhaling all the way up to the top. We're exhaling out. Let's take one more breath together. We're inhaling up. We're going to bring our palms together and we're going to exhale to heart center. I know we're not together, you guys, but we're doing our best to survive. So namaste, my friends. Good job, you guys. If you were on the couch eating popcorn, you're a dead man.